Okay, so I told Amy about this, the Polaris. Just went to plug it in the other night, and it wouldn't charge. And the next morning, I noticed it didn't charge, and I looked and plugged it in again, and what I was getting was 6 red flashes on this indicator. Usually you get a green flash, just a, every intermediate flash when it's charging. But anyway, I was getting 6 flashes, and there's a code to that. I looked it up, and basically it says internal fault, and it doesn't tell you what to do. So I went online and looked, and of course, again, all kinds of people are having trouble with this. If you go online and put in Polaris EV 6 red blinks, you'll see all kinds of the forum. You'll see all kinds of people dealing with this. So anyway, so I called the dealer about fixing it and talked to him a little bit. The problem I'm finding with some of these people is what I'm reading is these dealers, they haven't been doing these long enough, and they don't know how to fix them. But there was a guy online that left his number. I called and talked to him for about 20 minutes, and he gave me some really good info. But anyway, so here's the deal. There's a fuse, which I was able to find out online. This little thing hooks up in there, and it's 3 fuses. And you can see right here, it says 3 20-amp fuses. And that middle fuse, sure enough, I checked it out, and it was fried. It was just cooked. If you can see this thing, it's just melted. So that definitely there was a problem, and that was part of the problem, is that fuse fried. But I put a new fuse in, and that didn't help. It changed the code to 2 blinks, and I did some more reading. Like I said, I talked to that guy and took off this plug right here, the plug that goes to the charger. And if you look at it, those 2 bottom pins are cooked. They just overheated and corroded, and mainly overheated. And so that's our problem now. And this plugs right into the side of the charger here. So anyway, I can take it in. I talked to the guy at the dealer, the mechanic down there, and he says, well, there's a couple things we can do. A new charger, which is $850, a new wiring harness, which connects this harness. They're all connected together, and they'd have to change the whole thing, the one that goes back here. And it plugs, anyway, it plugs in there, and that's like an $800 fix too, just for parts. So this guy in Illinois I talked to for a while, he told me that a lot of guys are doing is going in here and just not using these 2 bottom pins. You cut the wires out here, you get in here, you find out where these 2 pins go, and you just basically take the wires out and put another plug that's a little heavier. The problem with these is the wires are too small for charging this 48-volt system, and so that's the bottom line, and that's how a lot of guys are fixing them. And I feel like I feel comfortable doing it, but I don't know if you want me doing that. I don't know if you want me just to take it to the shop and see what they say. I mean, that would probably be the place to start. Let them have it and see what they say, and then but yeah, it's gonna that's like over $1,000 by the time you do labor and everything else if they change the charger. And what I'm finding out is they just keep burning up because the wires are too small and the pins are too small. So anyway, I don't know what to do here. So anyway, I'm gonna wait to hear from you. If you want me to take it to the shop first, let them diagnose it. It's probably going to be $150 just for them to diagnose it. And they're the only ones in town that work on them. There's no one else. I called around North Bay Motorsport, and anyway, Polaris dealer is the only one that works on the Polaris. And like I said, I talked to the guy, and I said, "What do you know? How familiar are you with the EV?" And he says, "Well, as familiar as you can be with it, you know." And I don't know what that means. I have a feeling he doesn't have a lot of experience with them, and they're probably going to want to just change everything out. And then in a couple of years, we're going to be dealing with this again. But anyway, let me know what you think. like I said, we probably should take it in first just to make sure there's no recall and make sure there's no easy fix. And maybe you know, who knows. But like I say, if you go online and read about them, about the charging unit on the 2011 Ranger, you see there's a lot of people dealing with the same problem. Right about 200 hours too. They said you put the new batteries in, and it takes a little extra power to charge them, and it heats up that little pin we saw. And after a few times, it just gets too hot and corroded, and it doesn't work anymore. So anyway, that's that. I'll wait to hear from you, because I know we probably want this to be going by Thanksgiving, but I have a feeling, well, I don't know. I don't know how soon they can get to it. They said maybe on Wednesday they could look at it, so we probably need to act on this pretty fast if we want this going by Thanksgiving. Okay.